We take this car, turn this into Razor's car from Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Portugal 223 Heavy My Approach, Atis Bravo is currently expecting on foot to runway 27.
We're not in Florida. Welcome everybody back to the channel. So today what we're gonna be doing is, this thing's gonna go get built, but it's not gonna go into Florida. No. So Julian from Potomac Towing, he's gonna help me take it to Universally Modified in Dulles, Virginia. I can't think of how many cars you've towed for me. Either you or any of your other drivers. Just, I wanna make sure everybody knows this. If you need any towing service that actually shows up on time, shows up quick, and also is just reliable, Potomac Towing. Just for reference, I have AAA Platinum. The problem is they're very unreliable. Half the time they get canceled and they take hours and hours. Just for the peace of mind and knowing that the car is going to get to where I want to on time and get picked up in a timely manner, I call Potomac Towing to do all my towing. So if you need any towing service in the DMV, call Potomac Towing. Very simple. But anyway, with all that being said, let's go to Dulles, Virginia and take care of where this car is gonna go and show you what's gonna happen to it. All right, folks, so here we are. So this is gonna be where the C4 Corvette is finally gonna get built. Now, originally I had told everybody that this car was gonna be going down to Florida. A good friend of mine, Josh Dubell, he has arguably one of the nicest C4s ever, but the thing is, he's got his hands tied with a lot of different stuff he's doing with his own cars, his own business, and I wanted to start working on this, well, immediately. Tell me a little bit about what you guys do. You guys have been in business for how many years now?
Oh, we've been in business for 2 years. We're actually a family-owned and veteran-owned business. Universally Modified, kind of started out as a joke between me and my dad.
Yeah.
Anytime you got a part, especially for like an old car, it always had to be modified. So Universally Modified is how it came to be.
Yeah.
Mainly specialize in custom fabrication, but we do pretty much everything: modern, high performance, classic restoration, classic performance.
What stood out to me was you do a lot of American cars. Just the body of work that I had seen you guys do was very impressive to me. So I called these guys up and they said, we'd love to take a look at it, and now we're here. When I first made that video about the C4 Corvette, talking about bringing it down to Florida, originally I had in my mind, you know what I want to do? I want to make it a clone of Josh Dubell's car and maybe do some small things here and there, touch it up, add some things. But then, sometimes you have your best thoughts in the bathroom. Because all of a sudden it dawned on me and I said, I think I have an idea of what we could do with this car. One of the things I want to do on this channel is build cars from my childhood. And one of the big things from my childhood was growing up with Hot Wheels cars, but also playing Need for Speed games. And doing all of that, there's a lot of cars that you see in the video games you play with, and you say to yourself when you're playing, one day I want that.
Yep.
When I was in the bathroom, that thought I had was, I wanted to turn this car into one of the biggest, I guess, villains you could say from the Need for Speed franchise. If you played Need for Speed Most Wanted, everyone knows the M3 GTR, and that's a bucket list car of mine I've always wanted to have. But the other car, when I think of Need for Speed Most Wanted, there's one other car I think of, and it's Razor's Mustang. I still remember so many of the cutscenes from the video game. You look at a lot of these things now and it was just so cheesy.
First I'm gonna take your ride, then I'm gonna take your girl.
Razor's Mustang was one of the most sinister and just evil looking cars. And the only thing that I didn't like about his car was the fact that it was a Mustang.
Yeah.
That was my only thing. I'm like, why didn't you give him a Corvette? I'm thinking we take this car, and we put the livery, all of that, we put that on this car from Razor. We turned this into Razor's car from Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now, the thing is with that, you're probably thinking, well, you know, it'll look cool with the flames and all that, but we need to add something, I think. I think there needs to be a little bit more impressive than just an interesting wrap. As I was thinking about this car, the stuff that I could do with it, I'm scrolling through Instagram, and then all of a sudden I saw Superbird. I saw a Superbird and I said, you know, a C4 has very similar proportions to that car, minus the wing, obviously. The C4s, they have this big, it almost kind of looks like the nose cone of the wing cars, you could say, or the Superbirds. And I was thinking to myself, you know, what would it look like if you put a Superbird wing on a C4? And then I had a rendering done.
Fresh out the house, got the beat. As I ride up and down Martin Luther King Drive, standing tall, looking down. Boy, snitching all day, I look around on the block.
That's what we're going for. With that, I wanted to run through a couple different ideas of things I wanted to do with this. First thing, the most notable thing I could think of that I want to do with this car, I really want to install like a Superbird style wing. What do you think would be the best way to mount something like that? I guess it would just make sense it would bolt somewhere around here. I mean, I know this is all fiberglass.
So on all of the original, you know, big wing cars, so the Daytonas and the Superbirds, the way that they mounted to the body, but they also have bracing underneath that actually supported it to the frame.
Oh,
if we go and we put a big wing on this mounted just to the fiberglass, chances are that if the wing is doing what it's supposed to do, it's just going to crack the fiberglass. Good and bad. Good mean, you know, it works. Bad,
I definitely want to
stuff be damaged.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing I'd want to do is build something where you're driving it and anything like over the speed of like 50 miles an hour, the whole thing is just waddling or looking stupid.
Yeah.
So, you know, I want it to be done right. I guess that's going to be something we got to figure out. But
Absolutely.
I definitely think if that's the way they did it back then, it's probably how we should do it here. I think it would be cool to put a big, some kind of a diffuser on the back here. And then from there, we put side pipes on the car. If we're gonna be loud and we're gonna be obnoxious, you might as well go balls to the wall, obnoxious and stupid. And I think side pipes would be the right way to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we shut that, by the way, so you could actually see a little better. But one of the things that I always wanted on a car is nitrous.
Oh yeah.
When I was younger, you know, I didn't know the difference between NOS and nitrous. Like I didn't know NOS was just a company. But you know, regardless, I wanted the blue bottle with the orange label on the front, you know, Fast and the Furious, everything like that. And I was thinking we put two giant, I mean, I wouldn't say mother bottles, but you know, whatever the medium-sized bottle is, right there. Comment below if you have a better idea or like what you would like to see. I feel like putting like 100 shot on this car or something like that would be reasonable. Yeah. I've been told, and from what I've read on Corvette forums and stuff like that, that these cars can handle 100 shot. I know some people say, well, don't spray the car. Nitrous is expensive now. You know, what you should do, just build the car, you know, do heads, cam. We're gonna do a cam, but I don't know if I wanna go the whole way of ported heads and everything else, because, you know, it's expensive to do, and I mean, I don't know, like, I just think nitrous is cool. Frankly, I just think nitrous is cool. Like, I'm not gonna use it that often. I feel like every person who puts nitrous on a car says that, but, you know, I just want 2 nitrous bottles, the NOS button. I want the nitrous button. Like that. It's stupid, but that's what I want. I think it would be cool. So on the front of this car, and just for the visual, I'll put this down a little bit for you guys. I feel like it would be really cool to put some kind of like lip or just some kind of, not a full-on crazy front diffuser, but just something extra, you know, just something more than just this little plastic diffuser thing here. One of the things I thought about, and you know, you go down the rabbit hole of doing stupid things to cars and it just snowballs, it gets worse and worse. I was thinking this would be really cool to do. There's one C4 I've seen online that has this done, and I think it's a ZR1. And if you're watching by chance, let me know what adapter kit you have, but I would love to put center lock wheels on this car. I think that would be super cool, super fun. You know, I don't know what wheels I would necessarily put on with the center lock. Boston, if you've got anything, let me know. Happy to do something with you. But center lock wheels are race car, that's cool.
I know you had mentioned some things about maybe doing like the LS coil conversion, some other performance modifications, some tuning. I know this is pre-OBD2, so OBD2 is 96, 97 when they started doing the transition. So these, you know, how people are like, oh, I'm gonna chip my car, you know, that's how the name came from, is from these. They had chips or proms in them.
Really?
And that's how you ended up tuning these OBD1 cars and prior.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Learned something new.
So
cool.
That's a little bit of a challenge because it's not like you can get on HP tuners you know, and you know, hook right up into it, tune it like normal. A lot of these you actually have to send the ECUs off to somebody who you know, opens them up, changes the programming in it, and sends it back to you.
I've been told that the good thing to do with these cars is switch them over to LS coils. I don't know how much that plays into the tuning part necessarily, but it does avoid the OptiSpark.
Yeah, huge problem on these. OptiSpark in a nutshell, instead of having a distributor that's mounted on the top side of the engine, it has this distributor that's mounted on the crankshaft, or near the crankshaft. Main problem with it is it go through a puddle, water comes up, and then the car just dies. No reason, just cuts right out. So
this OptiSpark, you know, age-wise, like numerically is 3-4 years old, but it doesn't have many miles on it. So it should be okay, but if we're able to bypass it completely for sub 800, 1,000 bucks, which is what I've been told you can kind of get these kits for, something around there, you know, I feel like it might be worth doing.
Yeah.
So other than that, I mean, you know, the only other thing I could think of besides a tune doing that is I want to put the cam that's in Josh Dubell's car in this. That's about it. I mean, comment below what else you'd like to see with this thing. But, you know, the last video I made on this, the title was, you know, dropping 10K to build my C4 into an ultimate ripper. And I made the joke in there. It's like, this is going to turn into 20K real quick. We're already there. It didn't take long. So, you know, this is going to be, it's going to be a big project. I definitely want your guys' input. And what's the ultimate goal at the end of the day? Because, you know, you do all this stuff to the car, you got to do something with it, right? So there's a possibility. It's on the table, might not, it completely depends timeline-wise what this ends up looking like. But this car might, if we get it done, it could go on Gold Rush route. You know, that's, you know, comparatively what we're talking about here, that's quite a deadline because that's June 9th, but it could go on Gold Rush route. But if it doesn't go on Gold Rush and we miss that deadline, there's plenty of other places this could go. With that being said, folks, thanks for watching. I appreciate you tuning into this little bit of an update. Follow Universally Modified, by the way. Give them a follow, take a look at what they're doing. And if you have a car that you want to get serviced in the DMV area, American car, whatever, classic car, whatever it may be, hit them up. These guys, they have a phenomenal facility. The staff is great, as you can see. And, you know, they're knowledgeable and they're great guys. You know, I called a lot of different shops before talking to you guys, and you guys are the only shop that I was comfortable, I was happy to talk to, and you guys made me feel like I was at home. And I wasn't completely out of my mind. So with all that being said, folks, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, like the video, comment, give Universally Modified a follow on their social medias, and we'll see you in the next video.
My Chevy Orange and Tuesday is ocean blue. 28 sit over you, Ferrari drops and Rover smooth. You sit them out, TVs, I'ma flip them out. 50-50 bang, tell them ship it out. Coming down, shining rose gold, feeling like a Mac pose. Cadillac with 5 moves, make these suckers hate mode. Right, we do this every night with the same big faces, make me lame for a bite. I got that top now, I got the tits now, I got the